What's going on, everyone? So, in honor of the Wedge security complex we saw the other day, I figured I'd come in and drop another variant of the kind of piloting security complex shenanigans, and that is Von Reg Blue. This is going to be a fun list. I always enjoy playing with some of the lesser used bases. Before we dive into what we got going on and why this is even a thing, first, a big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon, guys. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I am excited to get together and get some tournaments in. But Von Reg Blue, why are we playing Security Complex? Why is this even a consideration? Well, fortunately for me, the Wedge video that I did the other day, the person who piloted that deck dropped a little bit of a brief summary of kind of how that deck functions. And Security Complex, the whole game plan is to get those shield tokens down early on to some early space units, and then be able to kind of prevent a lot of the common removal that ends up being used. Open fires, force throws, force lightnings, that type of stuff that is damage based gets completely negated by Security Complex. You can kind of rush in a bunch of damage. Now, in Wedge's case, you're able to put a bunch of pilots down. In our case, we're actually able to get Von Reg down early because he's afforded to play leader, but also we're going to be able to guarantee, in theory, our extra pumps from Von Reg by keeping that first space unit alive. So that's kind of the game plan. Of course, we are playing Villainy, so we do have some of our own really solid removal, like Power of the Dark Side. We got lesser good pilots, in my opinion. We do have Dengar, which can actually be pretty nice on some of our early Underworld units. We've got Iden, Darth Vader, all can be good depending on the situations. And then we have just kind of a smattering of space units, a couple of 1-drops to kind of get down to real fast and early, a couple of 2-drops, things with indirect damage, a little bit of upgrades from our resource pile, a little bit of direct damage in Daring Raid, stay on target as, getting in some damage and hopefully to draw us some more cards. And then as our late game approaches, we do have Ruthless Raider to kind of close out the game. I decided not to go Devastator because we're 25 HP base. I don't think we will get the Devastator, but we will, I guess, see in some of these games. I'm pretty excited because, like I said, Security Complex, there are some cool things you can do with it. For example, you can put Security Complex on a unit and then pilot Von Reg onto that unit, so then you end up with a shielded leader unit, which is kind of cool. So there's gonna be cool things like that we hopefully will be able to accomplish and get some wins. Of course, it's a space deck. We're probably gonna cheese some wins in some of these games no matter what, but that's our game plan. Let's see what we can do. Well, this is a fitting first game. I am excited for this one. I think I will just go ahead and keep. I like the shuttle in this matchup. I could potentially take. Oh, well, you know what? We'll just re-queue. I was gonna say that was gonna be an absolutely amazing first match, up against the deck that was kind of the inspiration for this one. But we'll go into the next one. We still got Von Reg. We still have got our opponent here in Anakin. I'm gonna keep. This seems like a pretty reasonable hand. I'm gonna resource the strike ship, and I think I will resource. Yeah, I think I'll resource the Vader. They're gonna have shatter points and fell the dragons and all that nonsense. So let's just go ahead and, oh my gosh, that is atrocious. All right, let's go ahead and claim initiative. My opponent's got the whole, space unit thing down. Do I want to go with Vader here? I think I kind of am forced to. Let's go with a shield token on the TIE silencer, and I think we're gonna pilot. I'm hoping that they're gonna use the Anakin or just attack into my Kylo's TIE silencer here, but we will see what they're going to do. Oh man, this is a risky business. Do I want to stay on target to knock out the Jedi? I think we just have to go in on the Darth Vader here. I think we just have to go in. Force throws effect. Sure, we can get rid of the stay on target. Force throw. We will go ahead and just knock out the Jedi Starfighter, and we will deal 1 damage to the Yaddle. We got to knock it out because if they keep getting attacks in, it's going to be like basically GG because this thing will be able to go 4. In essence, so they attack base this turn, deal 1, and the next turn they can use their action to knock out our unit, which is basically just GG. So can't really deal with that. Let's go ahead and play a vehicle. Pump up the. Let's get shield in, and then move the shielded onto the silencer. They're going to take some damage, sure. We're going to... Do I want to deploy this guy as a ground unit? I'm kind of tempted to do so, because what I can do is deploy him, kill Yaddle, attack, ping, ping. So I essentially don't get an extra damage by not attacking base, but then I get rid of the Restorer, which is kind of nice. So I do like that specific combination of kind of things going on. I'm going to resource the other shuttle. They could have like Shatterpoint, Fell the Dragon, all viable options here. All very, very solid. They're going to attack. They're going to knock out Von Reg. They're probably going to hit the shuttle, I'm guessing, but I guess we'll find out. Crate Dragon, getting rid of the shield token. All right, that makes me think that they're going to be able to delete my silencer. Okay, they got Chirrut. Chirrut's not nearly as scary. I think I just want to load up on some units here. Granted, the TIE Bomber is not going to really do a whole lot, so maybe I just go with Arm to the Teeth and get in my immediate damage. They could have a Force Throw, though, and if they Force Through us, we discard either one of these. Yeah, I mean, I can go Arm to the Teeth plus Forged Starfighter. I think that's what I'd rather do. Let's get into damage. Forged Starfighter pass, and I'm liking our spot. I think Arm to the Teeth plus Forged Starfighter was the better situation. They've got Rivals Fall. That's not going to matter. I mean, we're going to give +2/+0. They can knock out the Forged Starfighter, but we have the Ruthless Raider. It is GG. That security complex was absolutely clutch, guys. That's exactly what I was talking about, right? They had the Force Throw, and that was kind of the card that... I'm surprised they didn't do it in an opposite direction, where if they attacked base, got rid of the shield token, and then forced through, they might have been able to do something a little bit different there. So I'm surprised. I think they missequenced that, but that's kind of the thought process behind this is we need to protect our units because everyone's running force throws, everyone's running force lightnings, everyone's running open fires, and that was awesome. That was awesome. Alrighty, into our next matchup. I was about to fight a Cad Bane Target Town, but they left the queue here, so didn't actually get to fight that one. But we've got Thrawn Green, which honestly, I am not excited about. I don't think this hand is all that great. My opponent's going to have a bunch of removal, almost assuredly. I'm going to mulligan this one to hopefully find... Oh, this is even a worse hand. Well, sometimes you hit and sometimes you do not. I was hoping to find some 1-drops and 2-drops. We have so many things to play on turn 1. The fact that we didn't pick up anything is pretty atrocious. Like, really, really rough. Now, if they just defeat this Desperate Commando, it kills our droid missile platform, but there's not much that we can do. We're going to play out the droid missile platform. I can power, but that's just not how we're going to win this game up against Data Vault. I'm feeling like we've already lost, but we will find out here what we can do next. Let's just go ahead and get in some damage to the droid missile platform. We've got another droid missile platform here. I'll resource the Dengar, I suppose. And we will play out the droid missile platform before I attack. They could have no glory, very possible. They could have takedowns. They could have Fell the Dragons. They could have all sorts of different things. But to be honest, our start was so horrible that we just have to play for the maximum value here because there's so many things that can go wrong. So many things that can go wrong, such as my opponent playing a Merciless contest, and they're going to be able to defeat and then defeat. That's 6 damage to the base, but kills off both of our units, right? Overwhelming Barrage is basically the same thing. We will deal 3 damage to our opponent, and I mean, not much that we can do about that, right? Oh, geez, this is pretty brutal. I suppose I could have security complex beforehand, but if I did that and they have Power of the Dark Side, it's like GG anyways, so it's like... The game's over, guys. Come on, the game's over. What are we gonna do here? When you miss your turn 1 play like that, it is just absolutely atrocious. But let's go ahead and deploy Event Dengar out. They can attack and defeat Dengar. I mean, we don't have anything left to play, really. Drew a bunch of pilots, and we're not up against the matchup that really is what we're trying to deal with here. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Let's go Daring Raid, 2 damage into base. This is a matchup where a Devastator would be solid. But I think if we had like a couple 1-drops, couple 2-drops to deploy early, it would have gone completely different. And we have a lot of turn 1 plays, like an incredible amount of turn 1 plays. This is going to start restoring to, yeah, I'd play this out, but honestly, we just can't win. Not with restore 2, heal 6. Like, it's just not going to happen. So move on to the next one. All right, into the next game here. I'm going to keep this because this is kind of the idea behind the deck, right? Put a unit down, go ahead and I think we're going to resource the Dengars here, put a shield token on it, and then kind of ride that to victory. But yeah, we have a crazy amount of turn 1 plays, 17 turn 1 plays, even if it's just a couple 1-drops in this deck. So hopefully we can kind of deploy out a couple different things. Obi-Wan red, we're going to be expecting force throws, open fires, that type of stuff. So we can kind of avoid that with the security complex. And we're going to see what we can do. They've got a Luke Skywalker. I mean, I think what I will do is claim just to see what I draw, and then most likely security complex. There's another Vader. Okay. Vader's going to be the resource here. I will go with security complex. They could have force throw. This negates the force throw. They don't really have another way to deal with the space unit, I imagine. But they can force throw to get rid of the shield token. That's absolutely something that they could do. I am going to pilot my Vader onto the strike ship. And then we will start getting in some damage. We'll see what they want to do. I mean, they do have a force here. So are they going to... They do go in for some damage. Wow. Okay. So they're going to ambush just to get rid of the shield token. They have force throw almost assuredly here based on the way they're playing this. So we're going to let them force throw themselves. And then... Yep, force throw themselves. Force throw Kelleran back. Sure. We will just go with droid missile platform, Forge Starfighter. And then do I deploy this as a ground unit? I'm tempted to. I think, no, not with Obi-Wan. I was thinking if I can get some damage in, I would just deploy it as a ground unit, but that's not going to be the case here. Couple of 1-drops here. Okay, I mean, I will resource the Crackshot V-Wing, I suppose. Let's go ahead and go with a... deploying this guy as a pilot. If they have another force throw, then it is what it is. They happen to have a nice combination of cards here to deal with what we had. I am just going to immediately attack, give some damage over to this guy, or give some power over to this guy. We do have Daring Raid, Forge Starfighter. I mean, I kind of want to Daring Raid the Luke just to save some HP here. Now let's go Daring Raid on the Luke. I mean, I don't think we're in a fantastic position because they have a lot of damage to deal to us here. But depending on what we draw here, this could be kind of a game changer. All right, I mean, not the greatest draw at all. Blue leader. Oh, my opponent's got the double blue leader force throw start. It is what it is. Okay, let's... My opponent can take some indirect damage. It is what it is. Wow, double blue leader and Bright Hope. Not everyone's playing these cards, but we happen to find the player that is. Little bit unfortunate in our circumstance. Definitely a little bit of a weaker draw in our specific case. They're going to get in some damage, of course. We are going to Ruthless Raider, hit the Obi-Wan, I guess. And then they're going to be able to finish this off next turn. Wow, double blue leader, Bright Hope, and the Luke Skywalker. Man, if we had Arm to the Teeth last turn, that might have been changing it. But yep, they even had the 7-drop to force throw. So they had the great combination of cards. We almost were able to get there. They just happen to have multiple ways to interact with space in this particular game. And that's kind of what got us there. So GG, well played to my opponent. And, you know, sometimes your opponent's got the combination of a bunch of ways to deal with space units. And they're going to General's Blade. Well played. Good job to you. Alrighty. We've got Han Green. We're going to keep this hand. I'm going to go with Supremacy Tie as the resource and probably the power of the dark side. I'm thinking it could be good, but I'm kind of just wanting to focus in on, you know, getting in damage, and power of the dark side I could, you know, use to do all this random stuff, but yeah, don't really want to worry about that. Here, I think I'll resource the Inferno 4. And then I will go ahead and play the Vonreg's tie, pump up the Kylo Silencer. We'll see if they have like a Waylay. Waylay would be kind of obnoxious. Usually people aren't playing it as frequently these days. They have the Han Solo knock out a unit. Jeez, what a fantastic start for them. And that's just probably like, why do we have to deal with all these people with all the varying ways to knock out all of my space units? All right, let's see what they're going to do here. Man, Millennium Falcon. I mean, this is a crazy start for them. All right, we're going to go. Oh, wait. I should have used the Von Reduction. We're going to go to Disabling Fang Fighter. That's a nice pickup here. Happy with that. Let's go with, you know, play a vehicle unit, power up the Kylo Silencer, and then do I just ignore and just go straight? No, we're just going to go kill the Millennium Falcon. Do I deploy this guy as a unit or deploy him as a pilot? I think I deploy him as a unit because they have Grogu, so they're just going to exhaust whatever I, you know, power up anyways. Here, I mean, TIE Bomber's pretty weak because they can have Grogu and Han to soak up a bunch of damage, so don't really care to go that direction. No Underworld cards to put this Dengar on, but it can still do 2 indirect damage. That's not bad. This turn, we can go Dengar and Darth Vader, or Iden plus Darth Vader, or Dengar. Couple of options. I'm liking our position. They had a nice start to deal with what we got going on, right? Millennium Falcon turn 1 up against like a space deck is just the perfect card. And then following up with the Han Solo is just great. It's just fantastic. So Disabling Fang Fighter, certainly a solid option though. So happy about that one. We'll see what they decide to do. If I were them, I'd probably save the Grogu, at least for the first couple actions, because they know I have pilots. Or I would assume they would assume that I have pilots. So if I were them, I would just use a Han Solo action to start, because you're going to want to deploy Han Solo down this turn no matter what. So we'll see what they decide to do. They're going to exhaust. All right, well then in that case, I'm just going to get in for 2. Stall an action here, see what's going to happen. Grogu is pretty good. They got Luke. All right, I mean, I will go Dengar on the Disabling Fang Fighter. Attacking with Dengar. Deal some indirect damage to our opponent. They can start moving damage around if they want. We're going to go pilot onto the Forge Starfighter. Then we will attack in. I will deal 1 damage to the Luke. I mean, that's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Power of the Dark Side looks pretty good here. I mean, honestly, I think we could just we'll resource the Forge Starfighter because we can go Iden plus power. They're probably not going to exhaust the Kylo Silencer at this point. They defeated the Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber and Jedi Temple Guards. That is not the type of cards I was expecting. I mean, honestly, this whole deck is, I don't know what to expect with the Han Green and Grogu and Luke, but that's even less of what I was expecting. Okay, so they can exhaust with Grogu, but if they do, I just immediately kill off the Luke. Yeah, I think I'll kill off Luke here. Just get rid of the Luke. We can go Power the Dark Side and Iden this turn. So we have options, and we can literally win the game with these couple attacks and then the next turn. Because even if we're going to go Power here. Even if I were to put Iden down on one of these units, that's 7 damage, and that's 2 from Vonreg, so not quite enough. They're going to defeat their own Han, which I think is the right play. They got Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon does literally nothing here up against us. So we will just deal some damage. I suppose I did the math wrong. Because it's not 7 damage. It's 10 damage. Nice. All right, well, I probably should just hit base in that case. Waylay. They do have Waylay, but they must have put it in the resource from the attack from Han. They're gonna go U-Wing reinforcement, which is kind of tough, and they're not gonna hit anything. So GG, I suppose. GG. Alrighty. Into the next game. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. I'm looking for a much more aggressive start. I mean, this is okay. This is okay. I mean, I'm gonna go with the silencer here on turn 1. We're gonna go to claim initiative. Arm to the teeth can go into the resource pile. I'll go ahead and play out the strike ship, pumping up the silencer. They probably have power of the dark side. Sure. We'll attack in for 4. They'll attack in. We're going to claim initiative. Very, very quick start here. I mean, I just think disabling Fang Fighter is probably not going to be as good. Let's go with play a vehicle. It's going to be the droid missile platform. Let's go droid missile platform here. Prefer go droid missile platform because I kind of want to deploy Von Reg as a pilot onto the silencer. You got Iden here, huh? All right. Give +1/+0 to the droid missile platform. Let's go daring raid, and I will go security complex on the droid missile platform, I suppose. Not that there's really anything too crazy that we can realistically do here. I like Inferno 4 actually more, but I think I'm going to go arm to the teeth in this spot. Overwhelming barrage on Iden, sure. It's pretty powerful. Let's go with Iden onto the droid missile platform. Bottom. I suppose earlier I could have shielded before piloting, but I wasn't thinking they were going to go with the overwhelming barrage direction. I thought they were just going to go ramp and play space units. So this is kind of a weird game where my opponent's playing Colonel Yularen Iden. So it's like, it's just a very, very weird set of circumstances that have just transpired. I'm going to resource the Darth Vader because I can go arm to the teeth or Dengar, or shuttle and Dengar. We can take 2 here, 1 to the base. Now we go, I suppose we will play the shuttle. +1/+0, take control of the shield token, put it on the Inferno 4. We go Dengar on this guy. We attack in. I mean, I think we're pretty close to losing here. Oh, stay on target. Stay on target. Oh, the Ruthless Raider. Does that save us? I think it does. Oh, I should have +1/+0'd. Oh, that was a mistake. No! Oh my gosh, guys. Why did I not use the Von Reg ability? I was too excited. No. All right. We could have potentially won. I mean, they could have also had, a million different things to close out the game. Like if they had another No Glory, it would have worked. If they had a takedown, but I should have 100% used the Von Reg ability there. I got way too excited. Very, very weird game, to be honest. They just played removal, and they just played an Iden and then overwhelming barraged us. So if I went with a shield token, what would have happened? I would have gotten an attack in with Von Reg that turn, but I also wouldn't have gotten an attack in with the droid missile platform because that would have died on the following couple turns. So it would have been worth it to keep Von Reg around for sure. But I was thinking they were going to have power of the dark side. I was thinking they were going to have that type of, removal instead of Iden overwhelming barrage. Because normally in Piet, you don't really see all that many overwhelming barrages. I mean, it's in the deck for sure, but you're really expecting some ramp and some big space units. So that's kind of what I was expecting. This is a very strange couple of cards that I was not expecting to go up against, but that was absolutely sweet. Very, very close, and I made the mistake. Close. Alrighty, we got ourselves a little space mirror action with Kazuda and Von Reg. This is going to be a fun one. Let's see what we could do. I think Security Complex is actually very good in this matchup, up against the, Tarkin Town kind of shenanigans that they got going on. We can get an early pilot down. Sometimes Kazuda does play your waylays and spare the targets, so that's something that we have to think about at least. Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen here. Waiting for my opponent to choose initiative. I guess we will wait for a little bit longer. I don't know if they're even here. The only thing. Okay, they are here. Great, fantastic. Not my favorite hand. I'm gonna mulligan this one. Are you kidding me? We have 17 turn 1 plays in the game, in the deck, guys. 17. This should not be happening whatsoever. This is crazy to see. All right, it is what it is. Jam Communications turn 1. I mean, at least, I mean, Jam Communications has to hit the Power of the Dark Side, by the way. So there's not really any decision making here, but at least they don't have a turn 1 play, right? We would be a little bit worried about the turn 1 play on both sides. All right, let's go with Dengar as the resource. I think I'll just go with Supremacy Tie. Or do I go Von Reg's Tie Interceptor? No, because we're just going to go Supremacy Tie. I was trying to think of what I wanted to play here. If I go Von Reg's Tie Interceptor, they could still have Heroic Sack and kill the Von Reg's Tie or the Supremacy Tie. So I may as well just absorb some damage here. Here's the Trench Run. Sure. It's going to be able to trade. You know, that's what it does. And they conceded. All right. I mean, was this even a real game, guys? What was that? I mean, come on now. That was so lame. Whatever. We both had like a terrible turn 1 play, and then we curved out into whatever that nonsense was. So we're just gonna act like that game didn't even exist. Oh my gosh. We have 17 space units to play on turn 1, and we keep missing. Like, it should not be this common to miss. Not this common. Not even close. All right. Totally reasonable hand now. I'm going to keep the TIE Bomber. I'm kind of planning on going Power of the Dark Side on turn 2. So I'm not going to go Security Complex immediately because my opponent has to have a force unit. So we're just going to go Power of the Dark Side here and kind of chill out there. I like Shuttle quite a bit. I'm just going to go Power to knock out. We're going to take a damage from the Adi Gallia. But I do like Shuttle to take one of their experience tokens. We'll see what they follow up with. Maz Kanata. Great. This is a pretty solid one. Happy with that one. I'm going to put Security Complex. I'm going to put a shield token on the TIE Bomber. I think I will put the shield token on the TIE Bomber here. Wow, I cannot speak. Disabling Fang Fighter. I think that's okay. Inferno Force. Probably the resource here. I'm looking forward to this Shuttle. So I think that's the direction we're going to go. I can go Armed to the Teeth. Let's go deploy Von Reg as a pilot here onto the TIE Bomber. And then let's go ahead and attack. They can assort their damage however they choose. They may choose to put it onto their ETH Koth. I think that's pretty reasonable to do, to be honest. And then, I mean, honestly, I was saying we can go Shuttle. I still will. But I think that, honestly, the Von Reg's Interceptor is a little bit better. I should have done that a little bit differently. I was expecting them... I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting them to get some value, or be able to get some value out of the Shuttle. So yeah, did not kind of go as planned. I think I want to go Dengar on Power. I think I'll just get rid of the Disabling Fang Fighter in this turn. They should attack with ETH Koth immediately. All right, let's see what we want to do here. Do I just go Iden instead and just pump damage? I think I can go... You know what? Wow, this is a tricky one. I think I can't win if this TIE Interceptor dies. I think that's how this works. I need both of them to live. I need shield tokens on both. They're going to be able to ramp a little bit here, but it's not going to be all that relevant. They're going to be able to kill off their ETH Koth, get some resource back. But I think right now it's a game of, who's going to be able to just rush the other opponent down. And getting double shielded units means that Force Throw can't finish off a unit here. They're going to be able to get in for a lot here. They're going to be down to 15. They're going to have a 6 powered unit. I mean, it is a little bit scary for sure. Okay, power's completely worthless. Okay, how do we lose? So we attack in for 3. We get an 8 powered unit, and that's lethal. I mean, I think that's just what we have to do, right? I think that's just what we have to do. Trying to think of something that could go wrong. Like Bright Hope could be something that goes wrong. But I mean, can we really play around that? I don't think we can. Blue Leader doesn't work. Force Throw doesn't work. They just need a Sentinel here. Yeah, and that's GG. GG. Pretty close, to be honest. But we rushed them down. And again, it's the games like this where, like, I don't know if they have Force Throw. Maybe they just don't have Force Throw. But if they did, we would have lost without, like, Security Complex, right? Because they just discard things like Calorid back. And we just lose, right? We just lose the unit, and then they just deploy. They get more value, and that's it. But I should have, in the earlier turn, I was thinking we're going to go Shuttle. But then we went with Dice Interceptor. I could have gotten 1 more damage in by playing that first, and then deploying Von Reg onto the TIE Bomber. I could also deploy Von Reg on the TIE Interceptor, but I think I should have gotten in damage, so I think that was fine. But I could have gotten 1 more damage in, I suppose. But still, we got there. Alrighty, what did we learn with Von Reg Security Complex? Well, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Security Complex is a card that really disrupts certain matches where, like, things like Sorcerer's Blast, Open Fire, Force Throw, Force Lightning just couldn't get through. I did make a couple mistakes in some of the games. For some reason, when I'm playing on Carabas and I'm playing these leaders with, like, you play your unit with it, it's just, I don't know why, but I play too fast for my brain to register that I should have used the action. Like, there were a couple of situations there where, like, I literally am playing the unit, like, I'm in the action of playing the unit, and I'm like, oh no, I should have used Von Reg's ability. It's just one of those things that doesn't happen in paper. But there were a lot of cool stuff going on. I mean, we do have some removal aspects to the deck. But really, I mean, just the whole piloting and getting the Security Complex down to avoid some of the random direct damage events is really critical, and it is strong. And I do think Security Complex has gotten a lot more valuable because of that. So I'd be curious to see if there's any other decks out there that we're kind of missing out on because Security Complex hasn't been, utilized. Not that I think they're going to be S tier or even A tier meta decks, because it still fumbles up against things with Fell the Dragon, takedowns, Power the Dark Sides. Like, hard control would be pretty hard for us to beat no matter what. But that is always going to be the case when you're playing these style of decks anyways. So I guess maybe you can get value from Security Complex against the matchups that aren't like that, or are using hard control but with direct damage, right? So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will see you all for a video tomorrow.